1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our eagles fly. Fly, eagles, fly, on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Alright everyone, what is up here today? YouTube, Jigsaw0097. I am pleased to make this video. As I said before, I was going to watch All or Nothing, the Philadelphia Eagles. I pretty much binged that in like 2 days' time, so I'm here now to make my review of what I think. And really just some thoughts about the Eagles as a whole. You know, I really wanted them to make something like this. As I've said in the past, I love the show All or Nothing. I just love learning about the inner workings of the NFL, and I always thought that the Eagles would have been a great team to do, and I'm really glad that they finally did it, because I really do have a better understanding and even a certain respect level for the Philadelphia Eagles after watching this. And I will just say this first and foremost, regardless of what Carson Wentz is or isn't as a franchise quarterback, you know, I respect the guy, okay? I watched the show, and I really got to see how he actually is with the team, Doug Peterson and all that, and he is a leader, guys. Carson Wentz is a leader, for sure. You know, him and Nick Foles during that 2017 season, I don't think there was any like rivalry or bitterness towards either of them. I really do. I think the fan base has really like overblown this when it comes to Nick Foles over Carson Wentz. You know, like I've said many times that I would have taken Nick Foles over Wentz, but that never really meant that like I liked one over the other as a person. And I think that's just something to remember, guys, is that us as fans, we can get a little carried away with certain players. And this show does a great job of even showing that. It shows how crazy and passionate our fan base is, and really, it's one of the reasons I love being an Eagles fan, because that's kind of how I am as a person. I'm not really like rude to people. I try to be as nice as possible, but I am a very passionate and opinionated person, and I'm not afraid to just like say it as it is. And they really showed that with the Eagles fans in this show. You know, there was a scene in the show where Howie Roseman talked about how he had to get window tints because, you know, fans would like flip him off and say, "Hey Howie, F you," you know, and like he says he has a child now that's like old enough to be an Eagles fan, and like he criticizes him. So that was really funny to see. But yeah, the show really, it does what a lot of the All or Nothings do, where it just, each episode kind of feels like they focus on a different player, a different aspect of the team. And this one was really interesting in that regard. Like, it started out, it talked about our recent history, the last couple years, about how we won the Super Bowl in Minnesota, and how much that meant to the city. But then over the last 2 years, we just kind of, you know, we're struggling to find an identity. They went over that great run we had in 2018, where basically we're 20 yards away from going to the NFC Championship game against the Rams, which I think we would have won for sure. And we would have probably beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, so the Eagles could have been back-to-back Super Bowl champs that year had Alshon Jeffrey not dropped that. Really, it was a great pass. I mean, they showed it in the show again, so it was really cool the way they started that out. You know, they had the Go Birds podcast throughout the entire show. You know, Elliott Short-Parks. That was great too, because like I listen to all these guys. This is how I get a lot of my Eagles news. It was just cool to see like how passionate the city of Philadelphia is. When it comes to just this team in particular. Like, there's a lot of sports teams in Philadelphia, but I feel like the Eagles is just like, that's the team. And I'm not even from Philadelphia. I'm from Utah, but, you know, I've been an Eagles fan for almost 10 years now, like a diehard Eagles fan, so it's like, I really do, sorry, my computer might die there. I really do feel like I'm part of the city in many ways. I know that sounds cliche. Like, my goal one day is to visit Philadelphia for sure. You know, go to a home game. But watching this show, you know, I felt right at home. I think Philadelphia would just be fit me like a glove. You know, I understand the city, I understand the fans. You know, I get it. And so it was great to hear all the podcasters and all those people talking. And just to go over some players that I really liked learning about. Brandon Graham, guys. Brandon Graham has a huge role in this show. He's got a great personality. He's a very outgoing, outspoken type of person. You know, they showed his family life a lot. His daughter is freaking adorable. She sings like the fight song, and she called it like the Eagles show. That's what she called it, going to games. It was just cool in that regard. And Brandon Graham's in a lot of the episodes, so I really liked seeing him. You know, he was always like really positive. You know, he always was like walking around in practice, you know, getting the team hyped up. And that's really what it showed. A lot of what we speculated, you know, myself included, during last season, like, we were right. The team was struggling, but the way that they kind of handled it was, I don't think Orlando Scandrick was right at all, basically. Like, Orlando Scandrick, and they go over that, like, he basically was just salty that the Eagles cut him. That's what I kind of learned, and he tried to bash Malcolm Jenkins and all those guys, but they showed like actual audio clips during that Vikings game and the Dallas game, and you know, it reminded me of kind of like a T.O. McNabb thing where they just didn't agree with each other, but I didn't see like one over the other during the games being like rude to each other, or, you know, being selfish. I just think Scandrick was looking for the spotlight. You know, he goes on Undisputed, and of course Skip Bayless is an Eagles hater, so they showed that. And but really overall, I think the locker room was kept. You know, a lot of my suspicions about Doug Peterson were correct too. He's really just a nice guy coach. You know, I've seen a lot of these are unedited these seasons, so like there's like the swearing and everything. They don't cut any of it out. And in past seasons, you know, like Bruce Arians, Ron Rivera, these guys just cussing, swearing at their players. They get mad. Doug Peterson ain't that guy. He was just very mellow, just like I thought. You know, just he's kind of like a quote guy. Like, he likes to go out there and just say, you know, hey, we can win this game. It's up to us. Individuals play, teams win. You know, stuff like that. And that's kind of what I thought he was. So, nice guy, Doug. Malcolm Jenkins was in an episode. Like I said, it was cool to see his leadership. You know, I don't really agree with his politics, but they still kind of showed like how he goes out and helps the city of Philadelphia, and you know, at least he gives back to the community. You know, he reminds me of like Connor Barwin in that regard. How Connor Barwin used to do that when he was on the team, and now Barwin is going to be on our staff. So it's cool that these guys actually care about, you know, the city and all that stuff. And then they had Brandon Brooks. That was a really cool insight, because he struggles with an anxiety disorder, which is something that I deal with, you know. Like, everything he was saying, I don't get violently ill like that, but like, I'm not under the kind of pressure he's under. So if I was under that kind of pressure, I don't know how I would actually react. Maybe I would be like that, but I totally get it, man. Anyone that has anxiety issues, I understand. You know, you'll doubt yourself. You know it's all crap. You know it's false. But, you know, it's just something you live with. So, much respect to Brandon Brooks. You know, I think that he gave a lot more insight into that. And, you know, I respect him as a player and as a person. And Fletcher Cox was in it a little bit, but Fletcher Cox is a real mellow guy, so I knew he kind of wouldn't say a whole lot, you know. But they just had a lot of players. You know, Carson Wentz again. A lot of respect for the guy now. I really do. Like, even if he's not ends up not being like the best quarterback overall, I still think he is a franchise talent when it comes to leadership. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Josh McCown too, they showed him a lot. Josh McCown was great. Like, they showed how he still was coaching his high school team, so he would like leave Philadelphia and like fly over there, and then he would come back to Philadelphia. And they showed the show ended with the playoff game against the Seahawks, and they showed kind of how he was emotional and all that. So I got a lot of respect for McCown. I do. Like, he was a leader too. He was kind of just like a coach on the sideline. You know, maybe not the best backup quarterback physically and like athletically because he's older, but as far as like a leadership role, man, he should be a coach in this league. He should be coaching somewhere as like a coordinator or whatever, because he's good, man. He could even be a head coach. I could see him being a head coach in maybe like 5 or so years. So much respect for him. But anyway, guys, just to kind of wrap this up, I thought that the show was easily my favorite season. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm an Eagles fan. I might even watch it again because, you know, those 8 episodes just flew by, and it was just really fun to watch. Zach Ertz, they show like Zach Ertz with his wife. This is all stuff we really know as Eagles fans. But like I said, I was really, like I said before I watched the show, I was really looking forward to seeing the inside scoop, I guess, on a lot of these guys, and I kind of got that. And these are my boys, man. I love these Eagles players. I love the Eagles culture, just everything about the fans, everything. There's nothing like the Philadelphia Eagles in sports, in my opinion. I'm not even a sports guy, if I'm being real, guys. I just love the Eagles. I love the NFL. That's it. I don't give a crap about baseball or any of that. And this show really kind of showed that too, is that when it comes to Philadelphia, they're a sports town and they care about all their teams, but the Eagles, guys, this is the team. Like, this is like an emotional relationship. It's like your wife. I don't know how to describe it other than that. They even said in the show, like, when the Eagles lose, you know, the traffic feels slower, everything just feels worse, and so it was great, guys. So I highly recommend you watch it. If you're an Eagles fan on my channel, you probably are going to watch it, but if you haven't watched it yet and you don't have like Amazon Prime or anything, I would say like start a free trial or do whatever you need to do just so you can watch this show. You can binge through it pretty quick. Like I said, I did it in 2 days, and that was with me like doing other things in life, like working and going out and stuff like that. So it's very possible, and I would highly recommend it. So overall, I'm giving it obviously an A+ because I'm biased, but I kind of do that with all the shows when it comes to All or Nothing. Like, even if I don't like all the teams, I love just seeing how teams operate. Like, I watched the Cowboys one, I watched the Cardinals, I watched the Rams, I watched the Panthers last year. You know, I watch these every year. Whatever they make next year, I'm going to watch it as well. So, highly recommend it. And, yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. If you've seen it, if you're going to see it, I'd love to hear down below. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. And also, if you're a returning viewer, make sure that you actually are subscribed and that you hit that notification bell, because YouTube likes to unsubscribe people without telling them and not notify you when videos are made. But with all that said, guys, I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. And that's all I've got to say here, guys. This has been Jigsaw 0097. I will talk to you all later. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby.